Welcome to another episode of Marketing School. I'm Eric Su,
And I'm Neil Patel.
and today we are going to talk about how to launch like Apple. So one thing that Neil and I were talking about before we started recording was we've mentioned this on the podcast before around Jeff Walker's product launch formula. So PLF, okay? And what he does is he might collect your email, say, hey, like check out our video, our viral video course, for example. Actually, JumpCut does this. They use the product launch formula. So I'm going to use JumpCut as the example. They're using this product launch formula. And they drive people to this 20-minute YouTube influencer course or whatever. After they watch that video, what happens is spread over it's like a 3-day delay over 4 videos. What happens is that the videos will teach them something about becoming a better influencer or YouTube, whatever, right? And it leads up to this event, right? So first 2 videos are teaching, and the third one kind of talks about the event a little bit, and then the fourth one's like this extravaganza, right? It's like, oh my God, here's the product, and this is the thing that's gonna make you super successful, whatever. And then that's what happens, right? So kind of using this example, you can see this framework. Neil actually brought up a good point that this applies to Apple. How does Apple do this?
Yeah, Apple's been doing launches, longer than anyone else I know, in which if you think about any product that they're releasing, laptops, iPhones, any new device, they create some buzz around it, or the community creates some buzz. A lot of it, I bet, is leaked from people internally, and they give some hints. And sometimes you'll even see leaked screenshots and stuff.
MacRumors.com.
Yeah, exactly. And then they're building up all this hype. Then they do their announcement, but instead of online, they do an in-person conference. And when they do the in-person conference, boom, it's product after product, and they're talking about it. They're creating the demand. A lot of times what's going on, like, oh, Apple's going to release a watch, but we don't know what it looks like and what it entails. But they're giving hints on what they're talking about and what they're going to be releasing, but they don't give you all the details until you're there. And that's the key with any type of launch. You need to build up the hype. And don't create fake hype. I'm talking about hype because you have amazing product or service or is really going to provide value. Because once you do that and people see what you're releasing, like, oh my God, this is of quality, or this is even better than what you're telling me about, you'll start getting a ton of sales. And because people know that when Apple launches a product, it's also going to sell out, or even with anyone, when Jeff Walker does a product launch or anyone, they limit it to a specific time window. People know that they got to act fast. If you don't act fast, you're not going to be able to get it, and you're going to have to wait. Same with Apple. If you don't wait in line for their new phone, it's going to take you longer to get that phone. You may have to wait a month or 2.
Yeah. So if you think about it, what Apple does well is they have this stuff all around scarcity. It's like being on the inside. When you think about Mac rumors, where they're kind of leaking stuff, and then Mac rumors like, oh my God, this is what their new case is going to look like, or the new screen is going to look like, all this stuff. And it starts to build kind of this feeding frenzy, okay? And what happens is, let's say, okay, this is a couple months before the September or October kind of, iPhone event. And that in itself, too, is scarcity because they only invite certain people from the press, maybe some certain, some certain kind of influencers as well end up there, and they write about it. And then even then, the product's still not out. It's like people still feel like they're on the outside. They're getting these little hints, and then then it's like, okay, the iPhone will come out, 1 month later or a couple of weeks later. And that's like even more scarcity. So you think about that when you tie this into like Jeff Walker's product launch formula. What happens is he creates this feeding frenzy with the product launch formula, and then it's like, okay, there's this expiring sequence. It's like, this is gonna go away. There's like all this offer. There's like all this stuff that you can get, but it will disappear at this one time, right? And it makes you feel like everything's built up to that point, and then you might lose it, which is kind of what Apple's doing with. When you think about how people like camp out when there's really no reason in today's day and age to actually have to camp out for a phone, people do it. Yeah.
What Apple has that's unique that most of you guys won't have is they already have a big user base. So if you go back to you performing a product launch, creating all the hype, you got to recruit other people within your space to help promote. Typically, when it comes to product launches, you have affiliates and you're giving them a commission for every single sale that they drive. So if you can go and recruit people and you can end up getting them on board, giving them 30%, 50%, whatever it may be of the sale, they're ecstatic. In addition to that, you're getting all this pent-up demand because now you don't have just you talking about this upcoming product launch. You have 20, 30, 40 other people within your space who may have email lists. And by doing this, you're going to start seeing a lot more buzz created in the space, not just from these 10 or 20 other people that you have on board that are affiliates, but all the journalists, all the websites, all the media sites within your space will start covering you because everyone's discussing you. At least the influencers are.
All right, so that is it for today. Go to singlegrain.com/giveaway to get access to our marketing goodies to grow your business, and we'll see you tomorrow.